Hello, everyone. All right, in this video, I have something to tell you about Verizon. So it's an update regarding Verizon and planned build outs, if you will. So they've actually been able to build a nice, very large, humongous is actually the word I'm looking for, 200-foot tower in a beautiful rural community. And we have some updates regarding that. So it's in Greenville, and I believe this was done, and this has been planned for a while. Uh, Back since 2019, there was a lot of pushback regarding this. A lot of locals not pleased with these types of towers being brought to their peaceful, quiet little community. It looks like the government there within this peaceful community gave Verizon the go ahead, as they should, because I mean, let's face it, it's a new day. Technology, like it or not, is in control. And besides the little locals that have their little farms there that hate these towers, there's something more important there than just that, right? I mean, they're important, they matter, they pay taxes, they pay their mortgage, etc. But deeper than that, there's businesses there. There's first responders there. There's community members that need better access to the internet in order to have their business be successful. You can't attract tourists if there's nothing going on. In many cases, some tourists will go to these spots to disconnect from the busy day and busy life of the internet, right? And social media, etc. So sometimes that works. But nonetheless, the businesses there do need access to the internet. Maybe the people traveling to these small little towns don't need it, but the businesses do in order to provide a service. Hotels need internet access. Hospitals need internet access. First responders need internet access. Little shops need access to internet. And I think that's why the government there has approved the build out, this very large tower, which is upsetting one or two particular people in this article that are trying to push back and prevent Verizon from building any further. So there's a person in this article who hates this tower, saying that it's devalued the cost of his property now, so he's not going to be able to sell his property for as much as he like. He can't stand the way it looks, and he's doing everything in his power to prevent Verizon from being able to build any more towers in or around, I guess, in his site or his town or in the state. I don't even know what he's trying to do here, but it's definitely he's out for blood. And there's a possibility of a revision of the what they're calling it. The right term for it is an ordinance, right? So an ordinance amendment to close the loopholes. So basically, this would disallow or at least monitor this transaction going forward. So if Verizon says we want to build another tower here and the town wants it, they want the community to be able to come in and protest it if they want to, which they will, because they make no mistake, these locals don't want to look at these towers. But these are the same locals, sadly, that want better cell phone service, want better internet access. They're not going to say that. They'll say that they value their peace and the visibility of the clear sky and the trees and nature. I believe they do value that, but they'll be the same ones to cry wolf when they don't have good cell phone service. So this is kind of a contradictory situation here. We see these things all the time. There's tons of these types of reports. The last one I did was probably a few weeks ago, if I'm thinking back correctly, and I think it was regarding at&t, and they were having a complication, a dispute, where they were being pushed away because the same situation, a small, quiet little rural town, the members didn't want these towers there, and the government did, the city did, right? The businesses want it, the schools want it. Hospitals need it, but then you have the little locals with the pitchforks, constantly all raged up and looking to prevent it. So this is the same case here. I'm not going to read this whole article for you. You could definitely check it out on your own. I'll drop the link below for you. You can check it out. But this is pretty much what we're talking about here. So the amendment under discussion, I think back on November 18th, the supervisors approved a request from Plumas County Planning Director Tracy Ferguson is the name, to begin working with the Planning Commission to develop recommendations for amending the telecommunications ordinance. They're saying the changes will include language that rewrites the section dealing with TPC lands in proximity to residential areas, and is hoping it will require notification to adjacent property owners and the public that give county officials an opportunity to review the project before it is, I guess, in process. This was opposed back in 2019 for the very same reason. They're saying they didn't want cell phone towers in TPZ land to close so close to a town. The supervisors will use the amendment process to review the entire communications ordinance to make sure it does not include other loopholes. And then it goes on to say how it's too little too late, and how this person starting up this whole ruckus here has lost anywhere between $70,000 to $100,000 of his property value, which lies 15 feet from the new Verizon tower. So, listen, I get it. This thing, not his cup of tea, right? He doesn't care too much about service. Imagine the speeds this guy gets, though, 15 feet from the tower. He's probably getting, I'm sure some of you would trade spots with him in a minute, right? You'd be out there speed testing all night. You hurt your neck looking up at that thing. But, so I get it. Listen, I get it. Some people, it's not their cup of tea. They don't want to look at it. But unfortunately, when you live in a real rural town like this, landlines are dead and gone, right? It's a thing of the past. So there's no other way for you to be able to get connected now. You probably can't get fiber. So what are you going to do? How are you supposed to get access to life? There's more than just farms. So I don't know. It's ridiculous in many ways, but I know some of you live in these very rural communities yourself, and you've even said that you don't understand the big deal. Like you've accepted it. You're okay with it. In fact, you want better service than you want more towers, right? Some of you you still have your farm. You still have that peace and quiet. It's still rural America. You just might see a really large tower once in a while. I mean, it's not the same thing as living in, Los Angeles or Manhattan even, right? You're not exposed to that same experience. It's just a few really large towers once in a while might pop up. I mean, supposedly you can see this from everywhere in the whole town. 200 feet. I would imagine everyone can just look out their backyard and see it. And I get why some people don't like it. They don't want to look at it. But there's a bigger picture there. The government is using these towers to operate businesses, to help assist with the hospitals and the first responders, and bring money to the community, right? If there's nobody spending money there, if you can't bring tourists, the community doesn't have, or so they say, won't have enough money to repair roads, repair lights, etc. So listen, to each his own. We'll hear more of these stories, sadly. There's always going to be these types of people that just don't want it. And they're not facing reality. They're not in touch with the year. We're going into 2026. Like it or not, these towers are popping up. They're popping up. And if they don't pop up, you'll be left behind without service. Yeah, I don't know. Don't be surprised if there's a follow-up to this specific one, right? We might get an update as to whether or not the Verizon is not able to build here anymore. Maybe they'll build more. These cases are always the same, though, to be honest. It's always the same type of little towns, and the same little people with the pitchforks, like I said. But nonetheless, I still find them fascinating, these stories, how they're able to disrupt towers from being built. And then they'll also say that they have no service and they don't know why. And so, yeah. As always, thank you so much for stopping by and watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.